Hello everyone, my name is Anand Bhatt and my today's topic is AI in SOC. So this session I'm going to divide into multiple segments. So first we'll talk about what is SOC. Uh, then we'll try to understand what are the typical issues that we normally have in SOC, and then how AI helps us solve it. We'll also see multiple use cases and examples as I explain these concepts and the real life scenarios about AI in SOC. We'll also see the best practices and challenges as you uh, get into the AI SOC concept and how those best practices helps us bring best out of it. We'll also try to understand the business impact and the ROI, which typically very crucial when you actually get into investing into something like this. And then finally, we will get into the way forward. So thank you so much for listening to this particular video, and I hope this will bring certain insights about this topic. So let's first of all understand what is SOC. I think most of us are already aware about SOC. So SOC means Security Operations Center. Uh, some people also call it as Cyber Defense Center, CDC, or it is also called as Cyber Intelligence Center. But fundamentally, it means that it's a central team which manages the entire defense mechanism of the organization. So, what do you mean by managing the defense mechanism of the organization? It means that anything and everything related to cybersecurity is fundamentally governed, managed, and responded by this particular team, right? And it works 24 by 7, round the clock, right? Because the attack can happen anytime from any place. So, cybersecurity, as we all know, is a global issue. It's not a specific location, right? So it is very important that this team is very strong. We have the right technologies in place, the right processes in place. So just to give you a bit more about what kind of processes and the skill sets quickly to understand the SOC concept more. So in SOC, you will have multiple skill sets, starting with SOC analyst at L1, L2, and L3 level. So the fundamental work of SOC analyst is to perform the triaging, the understanding the alert, and then performing certain investigation at various levels, L1, L2, and L3 level. So the L1 people will try to see if there is any false positives or benign true positive events or the incidents. If it is a true positive and it is very critical and is not able to get managed at the L1 level, it will go to L2 level and then L3 level. You also have threat hunters. You know, these are the ones who are proactively trying to hunt the threats. Then you have malware analyst. You will also have threat intel team. You will also have red teamers because you also want to see if your SOC is doing his job well and you have the right controls in place. So the red teamers are the one who work as an ethical hacker and will try to see if the necessary process is working fine or not. Right? So purple teaming is also an important aspect of this SOC. And this SOC team is will have multiple stakeholders attached to it. So they are not just working within themselves; they are definitely a collaborative team, but they also have to work extensively with the partners, with the business team, so that they keep getting the necessary inputs from them. When it comes to challenges in AI in a when it comes to challenges in the SOC, in the traditional SOC, we have to understand few important aspects so that we can relate to the importance of AI in SOC. The first problem, as most of us would know, is the alert fatigue. Alert fatigue means there are thousands of alerts being generated from various tools. Various tools being used in security, right? At the endpoint level, you have, let's say, EDR. At the perimeter level, let's say you have firewall. At the email level, let's say you have email gateways. At the network level, you have IDS, IPS, and the list will go on, right? So fundamentally, you have thousands of alerts which are coming at you and centrally being processed, right? One of the recent survey says that when they spoke with the SOC analyst, right, they agreed that just because of the sheer volume, there are possibilities of losing out some of the key and the true positive incidents. And humanly, it is not possible. And the traditional SOC systems are basically run on the rule based or the signature based. It means that if it only fits into specific rule, it will be highlighting, right? So the second problem which I'm talking about is the sophistication of the attack. As AI is empowering the defense, but it is also empowering the attackers. It means that today the attacks are beyond any specific rules, right? For example, the phishing. Now, the phishing is also been empowered through AI, and I'm going to talk about it more in the later sections. But fundamentally, the attackers are also been empowered through the AI capabilities, right? And because the traditional SOC doesn't have that sophistication, it is very important that we have the AI been included as part of the SOC. And that is going to be a key differentiator today when you talk about the security operations center. Now, let us try to understand a bit more about what is the role of AI in SOC, right? To start with the anomaly detection, okay? Let's take an example. There is an employee who logs into his device or a system late at night, let's say 2 a.m., and the location is also something which is not known or not usually been found, right? So there is a change, there is an anomaly. So what typically the AI model does, it fundamentally baselines the the nature of a specific user or a set or a system or a network, so that it understand that this is how the system works, and it differs from company to company, infrastructure to infrastructure, or any major changes that happens. So there is always a learning pattern where it learns the baseline, and anything which is beyond that baseline, right, it will immediately highlight and flag that particular incident. So that is specifically to do with the anomaly detection. The second part is the pattern recognition. This is humanly impossible when you have billions of alerts been thrown at you, right? So machine learning is used very effectively as far as the pattern recognition is concerned. So just to give an example, right? Let's say there is an event of a PowerShell event. All of us know that PowerShell is used by most of the IT admins, right? Now, the similar PowerShell has been used, but it is used for the malicious purpose, okay? But if it is taken at isolation, it will look absolutely okay, right? But it is only when you will map the pattern of multiple events together, you will know that there is something in a subtler way. We call it as a stealthy attack is going on in the backend. So let's take an example of PowerShell that we were mentioning. That PowerShell is kind of trying to download something, which is a bit unusual. At the same time, there is some run DLL exe which is used, and it is trying to create a network connection. Third, you see some DNS IP, is being accessed. Some IP in the external network, which we are not aware of. So if you look at it in isolation, it looks perfectly fine. In fact, whether it is PowerShell or run DLL exe or any DNS IP outside, it looks absolutely normal. There's a concept called as living off the land, because these are the tools, these are the processes which are normally used, right, by the normal processes in IT and network. But now, because you recognize these multiple patterns coming together, it comes out as a very sophisticated attack. And that is where the machine learning plays a very important role. You can't imagine a human is trying to find out those events. And in fact, these events are happening as part of the normal process, right? Thousands and millions of events been getting generated in any organization. So human, it is not possible. Even if you look at a traditional rule-based systems, will not able to recognize it, because at its own place, it is doing its job perfectly well. But that is where the pattern recognition powered by machine learning will actually play a very important role. And that is what the most important aspect of having AI in the SOC. Now, let us try to understand more about the business aspect or the business impact kind of the story, because in my experience, I have seen whatever you try to integrate, there has to be certain justification. So let us try to dwell more into it, how it helps. Okay. First, how quickly you are able to respond has a direct impact on the dwell time of an attacker in the organization. That directly calculates with the data loss that you may have. More the time the attacker is part of your infrastructure and the setup, there are more possibilities of data loss, right? So because AI is able to help you respond on the quickest way, the dwell time will come down drastically. It means the less of data loss during the attacks. Point number two, the cost reduction, right? Typically in the SOC environment, let's say if you needed 50 people, 50 analysts to work, now with AI, with the capability that we spoke about, you will probably need only 5 people to manage it, right? It means that there is a direct reduction in the cost. And it is not only from the human standpoint, but also in terms of multiple technologies that you will invest in. You probably have to invest less and probably focus more on bringing AI into place so that those activities can be easily get executed through the AI powered SOC. The third benefit would be the scalability, right? Volume of data. We talk about data lake, right? So volume of data plays a very important role. If you are expanding your business, you know that there is more inflow of data and you don't know how you're going to manage the security aspect of it. So now when you have AI been powered, the SOC, you don't have to worry about it. So you can easily scale, right? And that's the most important aspect. And the fourth and the most important aspect is the credibility, whether it is your regulator, whether your customer or any stakeholder for that matter. Now you're able to create the trust and confidence into these stakeholders, the regulators and the customers. It means that AI is just not going to help you safeguard your business, but actually it is going to help you increase your revenue in the business, because now you're able to bring that trust and confidence into the stakeholders. And finally, if I have to, conclude this whole session, is that there is a myth that AI is going to replace the human. That's not it. Okay. Human will always play an important role from a critical thinking point of view, from a high level investigation standpoint point of view. So there is a concept of human in the loop, right? So whenever we have to talk about any action been taken, for example, right? if you allow AI just to go and change something on firewall as part of the response, or let's say you allow AI just to go and change something on the EDR, it may drastically cause the business, and there can be downtimes. Recently, there were cases where actually AI went ahead and deleted the entire production database, which impacted the whole business. So we don't want to get into that situation. So human in the loop is always going to play an important role when it has to bring creativity, when it has to bring the critical thinking, when it has to bring strategy, when it has to bring some of the sophisticated investigation. AI can't do it on its own. Today, you have AI, which is going to help you just like a digital co-pilot. You can ask questions in a normal language. It will help you find it out what the issue is. For example, you find a vulnerability in one of the machine, and now you want to know whether this vulnerability truly exists across the infrastructure or not. You can just simply go and ask the co-pilot, that is called as agentic AI, and just find out whether it exists or not, right? But let's understand one thing. Best practices that you will implement while having AI in SOC is going to play an important role. First of all, the explainability, right? If AI throws some alert at you, you would like to know whether that alert is really worth working or not, or whether what is the basis of that alert, right? So explainability is very important. How you train your model is also very important. The accuracy and the bias can play an important role. And again, it can generate more false positives. So it is very important that how do you train the model? The third important point is about the integration aspect of it, because you have SIEM, SOAR, EDR, and there are many more systems in the infrastructure. So how seamlessly it integrates will ensure that how AI is able to bring that impact in the SOC environment. And as I was explaining, human is going to play an important role. They should know how to make use of AI effectively. They should know this transition that is happening from traditional SOC to the AI SOC. So they have to train themselves, right? And the fifth and the most important point is how you create a feedback loop, right? Whenever you have worked on an incident which is generated from AI, how you're going to make sure that whatever you have learned, you bring it or give it back to the AI model so that it keeps improving itself. If you're going to take care of all these best practices, and if you're going to work on this typical challenges that you typically get while having AI in the SOC, I'm sure AI SOC is a game changer. It's going to bring a lot of value to all the users and the clients and businesses. But before ending this particular session, I would like to say one line that AI is definitely not going to replace humans, but those who know how to use AI will surely replace those who don't know how to use AI in SOC. Thank you so much for your time, and I really hope this session was insightful for you. Thank you.